doing the 50 books challenge in 2013. This is what I read in January. I read 5 books, and the first one was My Most Excellent Year by Steve Kluger. This is the story of 3 high school juniors who are given the assignment in their English class to write an essay about their most excellent year. All 3 of them choose their freshman year of high school, and it just kind of tells about their experiences through each person's perspective, through diary entries, instant messages, and things of the sort. I think the thing I loved most about this was each different character had a different and unique voice, so if you got sick of one character in one chapter, it immediately jumped over to the next character, so it was really nice in that aspect, and it was just really funny at parts, and the story is just so comforting and so good, and it was a really quick read and didn't make you think too much, so I really liked it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone, even if you don't like baseball, because I don't. The next book I read was probably my least favorite this month, or last month. Last month, it's February right now, and it was Crush by Laura and Tom McNeill. I made the mistake of going on Goodreads first and looking at the rating and the review before I actually read this. And because it had such a low rating, I feel like that probably made me focus more on the negative aspects rather than the positive aspects when I was actually reading the book. And there were a lot of negative aspects. One thing, the author just doesn't know how teenagers talk. Like, it was just, the dialogue between like some of the bullies and like the popular girls was just so ridiculously stereotypical and just stupid that I couldn't get over how annoying it was. The story is about a goody-goody two-shoe girl named Audrey who falls for the charming and handsome but devilishly bad boy named Wickham Hill, and he's so charming, but oh my gosh, he has a secret that's so terrible, and she needs to figure it out, and then she does, and then it's so predictable. The main guy is such a stereotypical douchebag. It's just depressing. There's not a happy part in this book. The entire time, every single character is dealing with some horrible thing at home, and by the end of the book, I was sad, and this is just depressing, and I didn't think there was a point to it. That being said, I gave it 3 out of 5 stars because, like I said before, Wickham was such a stereotypical douchebag that I had the perfect mental image of him in my mind the entire time, and that was kind of entertaining. So, 3 out of 5, I didn't like it, maybe you will, I don't know. And the next 3 books that I read, I don't actually have with me because I got them from the library and they were overdue. So instead, I'm just going to show you pictures of the covers on my Kindle that I'm still learning how to use, so be kind. This book I read was Sisterhood Everlasting by Anne Brashares, and it is the sequel to the original 4 Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants books. It takes place 10 years later after the original series ended, and it just kind of tells the stories of the remaining of the 4 girls and their adventures into adulthood and what life is like for them now that they're all separated, and it's just so good, and it's so it has the same voice, I guess, that the original 4 had, and even though they're much older, they still have a lot of the same qualities they had as teenagers, and it was such good closure, I guess, because I was such a huge fan of the series, and I felt like the 4th book didn't really give enough closure as I would have liked it. I felt like this one just ended it perfectly. So I gave Sisterhood Everlasting 5 out of 5 stars. I would definitely recommend it to anyone who read the original series. This book I read was The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. Bell Jar follows the story of one woman's, I guess, progression into deeper and deeper depression as she's living in New York. She starts off as this wonderful and successful businesswoman, so beautiful and so smart, and slowly just, is consumed by this dark depression, and it follows her from when she's developing the depression to when she's in the hospital, and it's really, really interesting, really good. I really liked it. I really could relate to a lot of the things she was feeling and a lot of the things she was saying and just thinking in her mind because, as someone who has dealt with depression, I could relate to a lot of things. The only part I didn't like about this book was that she talks a lot about suicide and goes into a lot of detail about different methods of suicide, so a lot of that is a bit bloody and gruesome, detailed, but I can't really hold that against the author. That's just like personal thing. I gave The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath 4 out of 5 stars. The last book that I read was The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, and I had heard a lot of good things about this book on Goodreads. I had it recommended to me, my librarian recommended it to me, everyone was freaking out telling me this was such an amazing book. I did not like it. I didn't like it. I just couldn't get past the narration and the way it was written, and the story just didn't really hold just didn't really leave me there. I was just kind of like, yeah, it didn't really hold my interest. And it was, I mean, I don't know, and I don't remember the ending, which is just bad. I read most of these books like over a month ago, but I don't think I was very pleased with the ending, and it's just, I don't know. A lot of people did like it, and I can't give like less than 3 stars to a book. I think I have like once or twice on Goodreads, but I gave The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime 3 out of 5 stars, and I guess if you read Perks of Being a Wallflower and liked it, you might like this, because a lot of the narration is kind of similar, but the story is a lot different. I don't really understand why people compare the two a lot, or maybe they don't. Maybe that's just people I know personally. Yeah, okay. Alright, I'll see you guys next time. Hope you enjoyed this video. Bye! No! I don't know how to work this thing. I don't know how to work this thing.